Yo, what's up everybody? It's your host, and we are live, well, not really live, but you know what I mean, from Amsterdam. This city is absolutely insane. The canals, the bikes, the vibes, it's like nowhere else on earth. If you're planning a trip to Amsterdam, get ready to have your mind blown. We're talking picturesque canals, endless bike paths, and enough museums to keep you busy for, well, probably more days than you have on your trip. Trust me, you're gonna want to see it all. So, I'm going to take you guys with me as I explore everything this amazing city has to offer, from the classic canal tours to the hidden gems you won't find in your typical tourist guide. Let's do this. First things first, we got to talk about the canals. They're the lifeblood of Amsterdam. I mean, you can't come to Amsterdam without experiencing these waterways. They're literally everywhere. They crisscross the city in a way that's both charming and practical, and trust me, they're even more stunning in person. The reflections on the water, especially at sunset, are simply magical. We're talking over 100 kilometers of canals, winding through the heart of the city. It's like a watery maze that you can't help but fall in love with. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site for a reason, people. The history and the beauty are unparalleled. Now there are a ton of ways to experience the canals, but for me nothing beats a good old-fashioned canal boat tour. It's the quintessential Amsterdam experience. You can hop on one of those big tour boats with a guide and like 50 other people, which is cool and all. They give you a lot of interesting facts and stories, but honestly, I prefer renting a smaller boat and just getting lost in the labyrinth of canals. It feels more intimate and personal. It's super peaceful and you can go at your own pace, stopping to check out whatever catches your eye. Maybe even grab a coffee at a canal-side cafe. Plus, you can blast your own music and no one will judge you. Hopefully. Just kidding. Kind of. It's your own little floating party. But seriously, cruising down the canals is like stepping back in time. The architecture is a living museum. You're surrounded by these beautiful 17th century houses with their gabled roofs and colorful facades. Each building has its own story. It's seriously like something out of a fairy tale. The whole scene feels almost too picturesque to be real. Oh, and speaking of fairy tales, you know those pictures you always see of Amsterdam with the bridges and the bikes and the canals? They're iconic for a reason. Yeah, those are 100% real. The city is just as photogenic in person as it is in pictures. In fact, I'm pretty sure I saw at least 3 Instagram photo shoots happening while we were on the boat. It's a hotspot for influencers. No shame in the game though. When in Amsterdam, right? Everyone wants to capture the magic. Just make sure your phone is charged because you're gonna take a million pictures. I know I did. Every corner is a photo opportunity. But the canals aren't just about pretty views, they're also a major part of the city's history and culture. They tell the story of Amsterdam's past. Back in the day, Amsterdam was a major trading hub and the canals were the lifeblood of the city. They were bustling with activity. They were used to transport goods, people, and even garbage. It was a different world back then. Thankfully, things have changed a bit since then. The canals are now well maintained and clean. The canals are way cleaner now and they're mostly used for recreation. You'll see people kayaking, paddleboarding, and just enjoying the water. Although I did see a guy transporting a couch on a barge, so maybe some things never change. It's a quirky sight. Anyway, I could seriously talk about the canals all day, but we've got a lot more ground to cover. There's so much more to see and do. So, let's hop off this boat and go check out some of the other amazing things Amsterdam has to offer. The adventure continues. Alright, so after a long day of exploring the city, what's better than unwinding with a delicious cocktail? And let me tell you, Amsterdam knows how to do cocktails right. We're talking speakeasy vibes, rooftop bars with insane views, and enough craft cocktails to satisfy even the pickiest drinker. Seriously, there's a bar for every taste and budget here. One spot I definitely recommend checking out is this super cool hidden bar, tucked away in a back alley. You'd totally miss it if you weren't looking for it, but once you find it, you're in for a treat. They have this incredible cocktail menu with all sorts of unique and creative drinks. I tried one, and it was seriously one of the best cocktails I've ever had. And if you're into craft beer, Amsterdam has got you covered there too. There are tons of microbreweries popping up all over the city, each with its own unique selection of brews. One place you can't miss is this amazing brewery. They have like 20 different beers on tap, so you're guaranteed to find something you like. Plus, they have a really cool atmosphere with long communal tables and a friendly vibe. It's the perfect place to hang out with friends, try some new beers, and soak up the local scene. But the nightlife in Amsterdam isn't just about bars and breweries. There are also tons of clubs, live music venues, and even a few theaters. So no matter what you're into, you're sure to find something to keep you entertained after the sun goes down. Just a heads up though, Amsterdammers like to party. And when I say party, I mean they party hard. So if you're planning on hitting the town, be prepared to stay out late. But hey, you're on vacation, right? Sleep when you're dead. Just kidding. Kind of. Make sure you pace yourself and stay hydrated. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Alright, so maybe cocktails and late nights aren't your thing. Maybe you're more of a museum person. Well, guess what? Amsterdam has got you covered there too. This city is practically overflowing with world-class museums, from the iconic Rijksmuseum to the thought-provoking Anne Frank House. Seriously, you could spend your entire trip just hopping from museum to museum and still not see everything. Each museum offers a unique perspective and a different slice of history or art. Of course, no trip to Amsterdam would be complete without a visit to the Rijksmuseum. It's home to some of the most famous Dutch masterpieces, including Rembrandt's The Night Watch and Vermeer's The Milkmaid. Even if you're not a huge art buff, you've got to admit these paintings are pretty impressive in person. The level of detail is insane. It's like looking through a window into another time. The brushstrokes, the colors, the emotions captured on canvas, they all tell a story. But the Rijksmuseum isn't just about old paintings. They also have a really cool collection of modern and contemporary art, as well as exhibits on Dutch history and culture. So there's truly something for everyone. Whether you're into classic art, modern pieces, or historical artifacts, you'll find it all here. Now, if you're looking for something a little more, shall we say, moving, then a visit to the Anne Frank House is a must. It's a powerful and sobering reminder of the atrocities committed during World War II. The museum is located in the actual building where Anne Frank and her family hid from the Nazis for over 2 years. Walking through the secret annex, seeing Anne's diary entries on the wall, it's a truly humbling experience. It brings history to life in a way that few other places can. And it's not just the big-name museums that are worth checking out. Amsterdam is also home to a ton of smaller, quirkier museums that are definitely worth a visit. Like, for example, there's the Museum of Bags and Purses. I know it sounds kind of random, but it's actually really fascinating. They have this huge collection of bags from all over the world, dating back to the 16th century. It's a unique way to explore fashion history. Or how about the Torture Museum? Yeah, you read that right. A museum dedicated entirely to torture devices. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's definitely an interesting way to spend an afternoon. You'll leave with a new appreciation for modern justice systems. The point is, no matter what you're interested in, you're sure to find a museum in Amsterdam that will pique your curiosity. So go out there, explore, and learn something new. Whether it's art, history, or something completely unexpected, Amsterdam's museums have something for everyone. Okay, it's time to address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the red light district in Amsterdam. This place is often the first thing that comes to mind when people think of Amsterdam, and for good reason. Yeah, we're talking about the Wallen, the heart of the red light district. It's probably one of the most famous, or infamous, depending on how you look at it, neighborhoods in the world. But there's so much more to it than just its reputation. And look, I know what you're thinking. The red light district is all about the neon lights and the adult entertainment. It's easy to get caught up in the whole shocking aspect of De Wallen, but honestly, there's a lot more beneath the surface. There's so much more to this neighborhood than meets the eye. Beyond the red lights, there's a rich history and vibrant culture. First of all, De Wallen is actually one of the oldest parts of Amsterdam. Its history dates back to the 14th century. We're talking centuries-old buildings, narrow canals, and a vibe that's totally unique. It's like a living museum. It's like stepping back in time. The cobblestone streets and historic architecture tell stories of a bygone era. And yeah, the red light district is definitely a part of De Wallen, but it's not the whole story. There's a lot more to explore. There are also tons of cool bars, restaurants, and shops in the area. It's a hub of activity and culture. In fact, some of my favorite places to eat in Amsterdam are in De Wallen. The food scene here is incredible. There's this one little hole-in-the-wall place that makes the best name of food I've ever had. It's a hidden gem. I'm not even going to tell you the name because I don't want it to get too popular, it's my little secret. But seriously, don't be afraid to explore De Wallen. There's so much to see and do. Just be respectful, be mindful, and remember that there are actual people who live and work here. It's a community. One thing I found really interesting about the Wallen is how open and honest everyone is about sex work. It's a refreshing change. It's not this taboo subject like it is in so many other places. Here it's part of the conversation, and I think that's actually a good thing. It promotes understanding and safety. Because when you treat sex work like any other profession, it helps to destigmatize it and make it safer for everyone involved. It's about respect and safety. Now, I'm not saying everyone has to agree with the legalization of prostitution or anything like that. It's a complex issue. But I do think it's important to have an open dialogue about these things. Conversations lead to understanding. At the end of the day, De Wallen is just a neighborhood, like any other. It's a place where people live, work, and play. It has its good parts, its bad parts, and everything in between. It's a microcosm of life. But it's definitely worth a visit if you're ever in Amsterdam. There's so much to discover. Just keep an open mind and be prepared to be surprised. You might just find something you never expected. So there you have it, folks. Amsterdam is a wild ride of canals, bikes, museums, nightlife, and yeah, even a little bit of controversy. But that's what makes this city so damn interesting. It's a place where anything goes, where you can be yourself, and where you're guaranteed to have an unforgettable experience. I know I did. If you enjoyed this whirlwind tour of Amsterdam, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more travel adventures. And be sure to let me know in the comments down below what your favorite part of Amsterdam is, or if you're planning a trip soon. Until next time, peace out.